are stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome. I am AJ Rasmussen, and this is Soul Wanderings, a show where we receive an opportunity to hear journey stories from humans from all walks of life and all types of experiences, and these humans show up to share authentic pieces of themselves with all of us. Welcome. We are live on video tonight on the KGRA Facebook page and YouTube pages, and you can join in conversation and hang out with listeners on any of these platforms, as well as visiting us on kgradb.com. Just click on that chat button. But also tonight, we are accepting call-ins to the show for a gifted mini reading with our special guest, Misty Merck. You'll want to jot down this number, 85KGRA Live. That is the number you'll want to call. That's 85KGRA Live. Misty began her journey in the healing arts after her second child was born, and she began to experience health issues. It was then, while on her journey to recovering from those health issues, that she discovered her spiritual gifts as an energy worker. She's also a certified Usui Holy Fire Reiki Master, life coach, Heart Centered Therapy Practitioner, Shaman, spiritual intuitive, and an intuitive energy reader. And we welcome this friend of mine back each month and offer intuitive readings to you here on air. You can call in and have Misty read your energy. That can mean a lot of things. Energy shows up as past residual energy, current energy, sometimes even future energy. And Misty receives her information spiritually and intuitively, and the information is received as thoughts, feelings, emotions, pictures, images, and angels. It sounds so warm and fuzzy. So it wanders. If you decide you want to call in, the number again you'll be wanting to call in for that gifted mini reading with Misty is 85KGRA Live. So that's 855-472-5483. If you missed it, I'll be sure to be repeating that number throughout the show, and we'll be opening up the phone lines just after the first break. So hello, Misty. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
Again.
I know today is a great day. I knew today being here is one of my favorite days of the month.
Well, you're always welcome. Every single month, people get excited to have you here. I'm excited to have you here. And it's going to be another amazing night as you share information with our listeners, which is so good every single time. So thank you for showing up the way that you do and for being here in studio with me. It makes it a whole different dynamic when you're here than my guests when I do them, over the interwebs. Having you here is really fun. We haven't had you on camera. I don't believe this would be the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to say, I think people know when you're here. I'll mention it a time or two, but I always yawn when you're doing energy readings. I start feeling the energy and I start yawning. So now that we're on camera and everyone will be able to see that I start yawning, just know I'm not bored out of my mind. I'm not tired. I'm just feeling it all because that's how I receive and release energy for myself.
Yeah, I was just working with a client this week, and we were on Zoom. And while I was working with her, she kept yawning, and she's an empath who is pretty young, and so she's learning what that means for her. And you could tell that she was feeling a little awkward about how much she was yawning. And after I explained to her what was going on, it just, you could see the relief and the help that gave her to understand, because this wasn't the only place where she was having that kind of experience. So being able to make sense of things, it really does bring a lot of peace of mind, knowing things instead of just feeling like, why is this happening?
Right. Yeah. It allows a lot of validation and clarity. No doubt about that.
Yes, definitely.
Which is so lovely to have, especially when you are just so confused or so unsure or just have no clue, no inner gut feeling or anything like that. Yeah. She's not the only one. I've found that I've been working with a lot more younger empaths as time has progressed, and there's just so much, when we're young, we don't know. We're being affected by it just the same. And that not knowing can lead to feelings of confusion and embarrassment and feeling awkward. And let's face it, when we're young, teenage years are already hard enough as it is. You don't have to add other things on top of it. So, yeah. That's the last thing we need to do.
Oh, definitely.
What's been going on with you? What's your last 30 days been like? Your last 3-4 weeks been like?
Well, I've started my own journey in healing. I loved watching your episode where you had the Dr.
Chris Frogley.
Yeah, that was really good. I found a clinic myself near where I live in Farmington that does something very similar. And like with my intro, you said after my second son, I started having this mystery illness. For me, I called it a mystery because the doctors didn't have answers for me. No matter how many tests and lab work I had done, everything was supposedly normal, and yet here I had all these symptoms. And so I've been on my own healing journey, and this last month has been just pretty significant, being able to notice the improvements and the changes that have begun happening. For me, what I ended up being diagnosed with was hypothyroidism. And that's something that affects every part of your life in every way. And so being able to feel like normal.
Yeah.
And we use that word, but to feel healthy, to feel well, to feel strong, to have energy. And it affects everything. It doesn't just affect your energy level as a person and what you're doing. It affects your energy level of being a mother, which, I am. I have 5 children. And as far as trying to do this work that I do, doing energy readings, when I first started understanding my gifts and using them, it was very draining because I didn't understand a lot of things about energy that I do now. And being in the situation that I was in, energy was a limited resource, is what it felt like. And so it was a lot of ups and downs. It was like a yo-yo. Whereas now I'm able to work more consistently. I don't have to take as many breaks. I'm able to do more the way I want to do it. I can live life more on my own terms and not just be affected by it. And also realizing and learning about my gifts, it taught me a lot about why I was affected and feeling the things, because our health, it's not just a one facet, it's multifaceted. And our thoughts, our feelings and emotions, a lot of things go into the physical aspect of ourselves. and contribute to it. And so there were a lot more things that were in the realm of, I can do something about this, rather than it's all out of my hands and there's nothing I can do. Mm-hmm. Which, when I first started going to the doctors, that's what it felt like. Because I would go see a doctor, do labs, do tests, and when you first walk in, they're very sympathetic. But once they get the lab work and it says it's in the normal range, they just kind of shrug their shoulders and say there's not much we can do. And then it really felt, it leaves you with some trust issues, because you feel like they're looking at you as though you're making it all up.
Yes. Oh, I've been there, believe me.
I know, because we've discussed these things. And I know a lot of other people, and empaths, I find, are even more susceptible to these kinds of experiences.
Yes, I've observed that same thing myself.
Mm-hmm. So this month has been growing leaps and bounds, being able to see my life shift in a direction that I'd been working towards for quite some time. And, I really firmly believe, depending on where we are in our inner world, our inner state of mind and being, 80% we can do our own work as far as self-facilitation. And then there's places where it's good to get that outside perspective to help bring some clarity, make sure we're not fooling ourselves, and to help us see those blind spots. So I've, got a mentor now. It's something I've done off and on, and I have another one, and I love and adore her. I think she's definitely helping me a lot. And it's just realizing that we all deal with whatever our past helped us develop as our black holes. Mm-hmm. And that develops insecurities and doubts. And so we'll hesitate and question in life, taking certain avenues or walking certain paths. And I feel this whole month has, even the beginning of this year, has helped me understand very clearly that I'm pretty clear about what it is I'm about, who I am, and what I want to do. We talk about purpose. What's your purpose? As though it's this magical thing bestowed upon us.
Right.
And I used to be in that mindset as well. And now I'm more of the idea that we co-create our existence with our higher power, whatever that name is for you. And from that place, I believe we started that co-creation path before we show up in this physical body. But even now, we still have a choice if we decide to engage with that or not. And we get to create just beautiful, magical journeys for ourselves. And it's not going to be without pain, but it's not meant to be painful.
Right.
We're here to experience the full range of experiences, the full range of emotions, and we don't have to be at the whim of it. We can really spearhead it through our own self-focus. So, yeah.
I've said all along, when in every show, I'm probably sure I've brought it up at some point, is that the power is inside of us. And it's not until we realize that that's the case that we choose to make those big shifts, because we realize that we are in control. Right? We are always looking for answers outside of ourselves. We seek others for not just help or advice, but we want them to fix us, whatever that looks like.
Or tell us what to do.
Exactly. We want the magic pill. We want the magic book. We want that magic crystal. Whatever it is we feel like is going to do the thing for us. And all along, here we are. Here's this magic all inside of us. And once we have that knowing, there really is no turning back, right?
That's like the Matrix. Once you take that little pill, I think it's the red one, there's no going back.
Yeah, there's definitely no going back.
Yeah.
I know once that I was aware, that was something. There was something about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's many things that once you know something, there's no unknowing it.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we forget things, the reality is we still know.
Right.
And things still, we can be haunted by things we wish we didn't know and try to forget. But the reality is I read this quote, the human mind is the greatest supercomputer ever created. It records everything in minute detail. And so we all have photographic memory, but we don't all have instant recall.
Yes.
So
I feel that so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is I used to feel like I had to, especially after learning about energy work and then the law of attraction, feel like you're trying to make things happen and control them into happening. Mm-hmm. And I was reading a little, it's a mini book. It's so small. It's like 15 pages. And it's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And there's these just little short articles about the power of your mind and your thoughts and how it influences what you create in your life. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately what we focus on magnifies or manifests, depending on how you want to say that.
Yes.
In driver's ed, the teacher said, you steer where you stare. And I love that phrase because it's true in life.
So true. Yes. And
it is.
Yeah. It feels just like that.
And think about this when you're driving. When you take your eyes off the road, there's a couple things that happen. You either start to drive where you're looking or you're aware of what you're doing and you're trying to correct it. And so you go more the other way. But either way, you're kind of going off course.
It is very true.
So, anyway, it's just, there was this one article by a gentleman in the book that he said he looked at the co-creation process less as being able to make something happen and more of noticing what you're a part of, and through that noticing, helping to expand and create more of that. Yeah. So he correlated it to breathing. He said, I can't make, if my body decides not to breathe, I can't make that happen. Mm-hmm. But what I can do is I can notice my breath and I can accentuate and appreciate it, and through that, improve it.
Oh, yes. I love the way that feels.
Exactly. And so there's a song by Mount Wolf, I think is the group, and it's more of a recording of a gentleman speaking, and I think he's a philosophy kind of person. And he said, your job isn't to try and be magnificent, it's to notice the magnificence you're already a part of. And so I kind of look at life as yes and no, as in it is until it isn't. We work through one avenue until we understand this other one. And then when we understand the other one, we can move to that. But until that awareness shifts, it's like you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Exactly.
And so I have a phrase, and when you look at a vase of flowers, the point is the flowers. Now, you can notice the vase, and the vase can be very decorated and beautiful, but the whole point is the flowers. But without the vase, there's no flowers. So the vase is the point, but the flowers are the point. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg situation. It's both. When it boils down to it, it's both.
Yes.
So, yes.
It's the same.
It is
all encompassing. It's all the same.
Yes. And then that's where you start getting into the philosophy part of the conversation.
And that can take us down many avenues.
In the road.
Yes. We can go all different directions.
Yes.
Which I love to do, that deep diving. But what if?
Exactly.
And did you think about this? And what about that? And what did you think when this happened?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love conversations like that.
I know you do. And that's one thing that I enjoy when I spend time with you. It is a little bit like that here on air. However, when we are outside of this environment, we have the opportunity to, go because we don't have limits or restraints in that way. And I really cherish and adore those times with you.
Thank you.
Not very often I get to go deep diving.
I went through one mentor program and they talked about being able to do that, where finding people of a certain awareness or awakeness or consciousness, however you want to describe that. And you get a small group of people together this way, and 2 or so. And then it's like you're leapfrogging on top of each other to rise to higher and higher perceptual awarenesses, perspectives, and ideas. Mm-hmm. And in business, they have think tanks and things of that nature. So the idea and concept exists in many different forms. But it's a collective energy that we're able to, lean on each other and rise a little higher.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I get so mind boggled on why we're not doing that.
Oh, there's so many things we can be doing instead. But, partly it all comes down to a lot of the things with our black holes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have self-limiting beliefs. Mm-hmm. But the thing is they don't just limit ourselves. Separation is an illusion, and we're all engaging and interacting with each other all the time. So that self-limitation begins to have a trickle effect, and it becomes a limitation to everywhere we engage. Mm-hmm. It follows us around like a puppy or a shadow,
however we choose to look at it.
And
I want the puppy.
Yes. Cute little puppy.
Yes,
so
please.
Yes, puppies can be cute. But just remember that cute face you have to take care of the back end too.
Yes, that very gentle reminder. Thank you. My dogs are old and they are back in their puppy stage in that regard. I'm just like, okay, at what point? But then you think about it when I see humans putting their pets to sleep, and for all different reasons. But there are some who put them to sleep because they are old. And I wonder why they don't do that with us. Like, can't we just decide to go to sleep? Can you just euthanize us? Like, I'm ready. Night, night.
There are so many different perspectives on many subjects. Mm-hmm. And that is, it's interesting where we have the paradoxical belief systems happening.
Yes.
We put it on because of context.
Yes.
So it perspectives and beliefs, yeah.
Definitely.
Some people are in agreement with that and they're trying to do it. Other people aren't.
Yeah. We are actually going to take our first break, everyone, but make sure you're jotting down this number. I'll be repeating it several times. We're going to open up the phone lines after this break where you can call in and get a gifted mini reading with Misty Rose Merck here live on Soul Wanderings. The number to do that is 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483. And we'll be right back.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you still at it?
Yeah, I need more speed.
This baby's fast.
My dad's fast. He's scary fast.
You really think you could beat him?
Yeah, because I drink more tea than he does.
Yeah, right.
You know, pal, it's the tea that makes you go. Oh. Hey, Dad.
You know, kiddo, you have to drink a lot more tea to be faster than me. Drink the tea that makes you go. Life Change Tea. You may not need as much as Dad. You never know. GetTheTea.com. Log on to GetTheTea.com.
Welcome to the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. Here you'll find great new content, including the KGRA Classics, great shows from our archives. You'll be able to see the show times and information so you can see what show is currently on air. The on-air live button. So just go to this section and you'll be able to hear the show live with exceptional sound quality. We also have the Vault section. Make sure to subscribe to get access to great content and special features. We have the make content for our latest news and events, so make sure to sign up and you can be part of our forum. So make sure to check out the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. We look forward to seeing you there, and we hope that you enjoy the new website.
Mainstream media's most wanted. KGRAradio.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings, heard here on KGRA Radio. It's a joy to be here. You can check out this show and all of the many amazing shows we have on the station by visiting KGRADB.com. Tonight we are visiting with our guest and my dear friend Misty Merck. She's an intuitive energy reader and energy healer. You do all kinds of good stuff. But she receives information spiritually and intuitively, and she receives the messages, the information as feelings and thoughts, emotions, through images, different types of pictures and angels and all kinds of beautiful ways. It's amazing how you do it. Just watching you work blows my mind every single time, how good you are, how connected you are. And I know that doesn't go just naturally. You have to work on yourself and practice and strengthen your gift. So thanks for doing the work.
Welcome.
We have the phone lines open, everyone. If you're interested in receiving a gifted mini reading with Misty, the number to do so is 85KGRA Live. So that number is 855-472-5483. The phone lines are open.
Yay!
I had an opportunity that got taken away from me yesterday. I had an appointment scheduled with Misty and some things came up and I wasn't able to attend. And I'm telling you, I was very disappointed. So rescheduling for sure is needed now more than ever. Did you believe at the beginning of this year that things would be coming up into our awareness for us to look at, observe, heal, get rid of, have closure of, like things of that nature, like experiences coming to an end? Did that ever come up for you when you were checking in with 2021?
For this year, I just felt very strongly change. And quick, somewhat drastic change, but definitely guided and supported change. You know, this isn't just random, let's just toss our coins down and see what happens and throw the dice and see how that roll goes. We're definitely being guided and supported, and there is structure. You know, there's a desired outcome for this change, and it's not just change as an individual. I feel very strongly, change for anyone, but definitely change for in a global way, change for life.
Fantastic. That's wonderful news.
The way that I see that is, think of a wave, and we can ride the wave so that change feels, it's not without its work. Riding a wave is work, but it's definitely, it can be fun. It could be rejuvenating. It can be whatever we want it to be on that ride. And then being in resistance is like being tumbled by the wave. And that's not going to be a very pleasant experience, because I think it's a change that's happening whether we willingly choose or resist.
Mm-hmm.
And we're being asked to let go of things that no longer serve us, things that we consciously have said that we no longer want.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to receive what we do want, it's an exchange. It's letting go of the things that we want to be free of, so we can receive what we're asking for.
Yeah. That is a theme that I have seen with our clients and customers alike, even with myself.
Mm-hmm.
There is a common thread there where those shifts are taking place, and it's quite amazing to witness, and the transformations that are taking place, that are occurring because of these shifts, is just so profound and beautiful in so many ways.
Yeah, I have a class that I've been in, and the instructor in that class is talking about 2021. If you're into numerology, you know, that ends up being 5, and 5 is all about change.
I'm really into numerology lately. Let me just say, I just have to do a shout out to myself, because I'll be 44 in a couple of weeks, and everyone's probably like, okay, so what? Big deal, right? But 4 is my number because my life path number is a 4. My numerology is a 4. 1 and 3 is a 4. I'll be 44. We're in 2020s, which is a 4. Just a lot of 4 energy. And I've had comments, but next year should be your big birthday. That's a milestone birthday. And I'm like, nope, I'm celebrating it this year. This is the milestone birthday. It feels good, like a powerful birthday for some reason. And I feel that the work that I'm doing and the healing that has been occurring for me over the last several years, but especially this last year, and especially the last 6 months, so much releasing and clearing.
Yes.
So
I've seen it
much.
in you. I've seen it in you.
I have done some work, girlfriend.
Yes, you have. Yes, I've seen you before. I've seen you after. I've seen you during it. And you really dove deep.
Yes, I dove deep, and I'm still there, but it's different. And it's so beautiful and so amazing. And I'm able to show up not just for myself in different ways now, but others. So I'm able to help our customers and our clients in ways I wasn't able to assist them before. I show up in relationships differently. I'm more present with my friends and the way that we communicate, and my family. And it really, if anyone is working on themselves in any way, shape, or form, kudos. This is no joke.
No,
it is no joke.
You've let go a lot of baggage so that it's less stuff between you and everyone else when you engage.
Yes. Oh, it feels so good. But I bring that up because, you know, we may have people listening who are wondering, like, what does the future look like for me? You know, those people who want that type of a reading, which is great and all. But what I found to be so powerful for myself is not when you were sharing that type of a reading, when you were sharing readings with me about your energy looks and feels like this right now, or I can see you showing up for yourself or others in this way, or you have this ability. Why don't you look at that and really strengthen that muscle? Things of that nature. And those are the tidbits that have really shown me to myself in a different light that I wouldn't have just seen for myself. Right? Yeah. it was a different type of mirror and so beneficial. Oh my goodness. The things you've shared with me, and I've had some others, close and not close, just even in passing, just share with me. We had a guest on not too long ago, Robert Lindsay Milne, and I've brought him up a couple of times, but that reading with him was so powerful. And so the combination of what you've offered me and others have offered me has just been so profound and so healing to me. Such great spiritual tools to help me in my healing journey. So much gratitude. And I want that for everyone now. I'm like, how can we help you? How can we assist you? How can we help you change your world? Sounds like an infomercial from hell, but well, because it really does. It's hard. You're like, no, I don't want to open that closet door. I'm not doing it. But
well, the thing is it's like Monsters Inc. It's the monster in the closet, but you begin to realize that it's this cute furry, and he's just being scary because there's something going on that's not working.
Right, exactly. And it's so good to point it out and shed new light on it, or even a light on it in that case. And speaking of, we have a caller on the line, so let's get right to that. Hello, Lauren from Connecticut. Thank you for calling into the show.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Hi, thank you for calling in. Welcome to Soul Wanderings.
Thank you.
We have Misty here, and would you like to have a reading on your energy, like where you're at right now, or do you have a specific question for Misty tonight?
I don't have a specific question.
Okay.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Misty.
Okay. Do me a favor and just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. We're just going to slow down your mind because it's, you just a fast thinker. Okay. So you feel very empathic and very emotionally sensitive. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
And there's a lot going on in your energy right now. It feels like there's two different things wanting to be heard at once, so it's making it difficult to see which direction to start. It feels like there's just been a succession of a lot of changes going on. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So it feels like there's some pretty big choices that are ahead of you right now, but it also involves other people. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So, but I feel at the end of the day, you're the one that has to make the choice, and this choice is affecting other people, and maybe they've got some say in it, but you're the one that's in charge of making these choices. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so it feels like there's been some indecision about... So it feels like in your heart, you know what to do, but your head is second guessing you. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let your heart lead the way. And I know that sounds really scary because that's not something you've trusted. Even though you're very emotionally sensitive and you are a very caring person, you care so much that you feel very emotionally overwhelmed frequently, correct?
Yes, correct.
And the way that you've managed that is to get into your head and think a lot and be logic based. And so it's almost as if I think it through enough, I can outthink any potential discomfort or pain or avoid problems. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so, in essence, the mind is designed to think. It's going to think thoughts, and part of its job is to keep you alive. And so, one of the misguided ways it goes about doing this is to scare us into a comfort zone, a safe spot. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
And so I feel like there's some very time-sensitive choices ahead of you. And procrastinating is a choice. And it's the kind of a choice that not making a choice is a choice. And you're not going to like the choices you get from that energy. And
right.
Let your heart lead the way. I know that sounds like a scary proposition because there's been times where you've made decisions in the past from emotions and you didn't like the outcome. But it's just because even though you were trying to make the decision from your heart, you were making it from fear. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so this is where I know time is of the essence, but I would have you take a step back and regroup. Because otherwise you're going to be making the decision from your head, and I don't feel that you would like the results that you would get from that choice, from being made that way. And when I say regroup, it isn't about taking a lot of time, but rather being very mindful of the way you gather yourself. And so I would say engage with breathing meditations, because we want to move you from fight or flight, because that's what all of the overthinking has got you. It's got you stuck in fight or flight. So we get you into breathing. In Hebrew, breath and spirit is the same word. So we get you back into your spirit through connecting with your breath. We bring you back to the present moment. That brings you back into your body. And then from that place, create your own safety. And what that looks like is telling yourself that you love yourself, and only good can come of this. Even if mistakes happen, even if you were to make a mistake in the choices that are unfolding before you, it can still be for good. You can still get redirected. It's not a finality. There's not a, oh, I just messed this up and I can never come back from it kind of thing. Because you have a strong perfectionist energy that feels very paralyzing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's all that's happening right now is this is how you've trained your system to operate, because that's what you were taught by people who were taught. Now you're just at a different place of being aware that there are some things that aren't quite working for you the way you would like them to. So you're just investigating, how would I like to change this? And it's baby steps, because the way you've tried some things in the past have been all or nothing. And then what happens is you get overwhelmed and frustrated and give up, and then you get really hard on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's just implementing one thing at a time to create that new way of being. And before you know it, things will change. It's just like when a pilot gets in his plane and he starts his trip 1 degree off. 1 degree sounds like little to nothing, but by the time he reaches his destination, he's miles off. So one little thing right now can create big change later. It's not having to do it all at once. It's just taking that one thing and implementing it until you feel that you've developed that muscle, and then picking one more thing. And right now, what I would suggest is taking a pause, get the breathing meditation, and then sit down once you've done a breathing meditation so that you know you're in a good space inside of yourself, and get clear about what you want for yourself. Just if you're a person who writes, if you're a person who draws, if like art journaling, just something to help create a clarity of this is what I want in my life. It could be a simple list of words. I want joy. I want peace. I want happiness. I want calm, serenity, whatever that looks like. It could be as simple as a few words to describe it, to several sentences, to a paragraph, to a page, or, you know, cutting out pictures and knowing what each of those pictures represents for you. From that place of clarity, now you have something to measure your choices against. Your choices are either going to bring you to that place or away from it. That's going to help you discern with your heart what is the next best step for you, and being mindful that it will affect other people, but you can't control other people, and they may or may not like your choices. But at the end of the day, the best thing you can do for them is to follow what your heart says is best for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Was that helpful?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Yes. I'm really surprised just over the telephone you could pick up so many things like that. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
It's all energy. It is. And separation is an illusion. You know, we are all breathing the same air at the end of the day. We're all standing on the same earth. And I believe our higher power, by whatever we call it, is we're all connected to it like spokes on a wheel.
Yes.
Lauren, thank you so much for calling in. I am glad that you had this opportunity to visit with Misty tonight.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Best of luck to you, dear.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. You get a reading and some suggestional advice.
You know, I've been to different people and had different readings, and from them, I saw things that I felt led to me having a great experience, and other things that I did not want to repeat myself because I didn't like how I felt. And so, one of those things is when I engage with people, I've had those moments where we can have really great, oh yeah, that's great, that's interesting, that's nice, and it can be very insightful. And then when the session's over, you just go back to your normal life, and then, well, that was a nice experience, or whatever you want to call it. I want people to have a nice experience, but more importantly, I want them to have something that when the conversation's over, if they choose, they can start taking steps to get where they want to go instead of being where they don't like being.
The little tips and tricks and tidbits that you give.
Yeah.
They, like I said before that caller, they really have helped me so much. And not just with the callers that we receive here on the show, but also in the space that we share together at Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. We have had so many opportunities to see those experiences with you.
Yeah.
And with others.
Yeah.
You've helped so many people. It really is quite profound if you look back at it and see just exactly what you have done. How does that make you feel when I say that? I just saw you take a deep breath.
Well, you know, in the line of work that I'm in, I have talked to a lot of people now. And sometimes you never see them again. You see them that one time. I mean, this all started because I was standing in the grocery store and I was asked to go talk to somebody, a complete stranger. And so this happens in public all the time, to the point that my family knows what's going on. And they all have different ways of describing it. And I especially loved when my teenage son told me that he was talking with his friends about moms who were taking too long at the store. And he goes, yeah, but it's not because she's shopping. It's because she's reading people's souls and doing her hoodoo voodoo. And I was like, please don't say that out loud in public. But it's being there, and people can be full of emotion in that moment, and then not hearing from them again. You just don't know the impact. You don't know the effect you're having. You have hopes. Mm-hmm. You have wishes and dreams for being able to be impactful, be helpful. And if anybody knows me, I just want to help. I just love helping people. It's always been a driving force in my life, is to be helpful. And I think that's a human craving, to be of service, to contribute. But as an individual, that's part of what I feel driven to do is I want to help people by helping them see that they're way better than they think they are. Yeah. And there's so much more ahead of them than they realize.
I feel like what you do is hold up a mirror. And it's not like the mirror we look into every day to get ready. It's like a special magical mirror. And you have us look into this mirror and see ourselves in such a unique and different way than what we see when we're looking into the mirror all on our own.
It's all about perspective.
It really
one of
is.
the ways I've described it to people is it's like you're walking around looking at yourself as though you were seeing yourself in a funhouse mirror. And I get the opportunity to come along and say, yeah, you can do that. And then show a regular mirror. Take a look at this. How's that? Do you like that better?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your perspective and the way that you hold space for others to see themselves in the same light that you see them is, I want to say beautiful, and I say beautiful a lot. That just takes away from what I'm really trying to share. But it is unique, and it has had moments of breathtaking, or, that feeling of taking my breath away. You see people in such a beautiful, glorious way, and the way that you allow them to see themselves really does change their perspective and the way they feel about themselves. And that's one thing that drew me to you from the beginning, other than I knew we would be, gal pals forever. But that was one of the things about you that was different from any other reader, is that you didn't tell someone how it was. You allowed them to see for themselves.
Oh, I hope so. I hope definitely not to be somebody that's dictating.
Oh, yes. Well, you're good at what you do.
Good.
We do have a couple of callers on hold we're going to get to right after this break. And if you're interested in getting in line to receive a gifted mini reading with Misty, you'll want to do that now before time runs out. We have another hour left of the show. We'll take as many as we can as time allows us to do so. And you can do that by calling 85-KGRA Live, which is 855-472-5483. Stay close, everyone. We'll be back on the flip side.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you still at it?
Yeah, I need more speed.
This baby's fast.
My dad's fast. He's scary fast.
You really think you could beat him?
Yeah, because I drink more tea than he does.
Yeah, right.
You know, pal, it's the tea that makes you go, oh. Hey, Dad.
You know, kiddo, you have to drink a lot more tea to be faster than me.
Drink the tea that makes you go. Life Change Tea. You may not need as much as Dad. You never know. GetTheTea.com. Log on to GetTheTea.com.
Welcome to the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. Here you'll find great new content, including the KGRA Classics, great shows from our archives. You'll be able to see the show times and information so you can see what show is currently on air. The on-air live button. So just go to this section and you'll be able to hear the show live with exceptional sound quality. We also have the Vault section. Make sure to subscribe to get access to great content and special features. We have the make content for our latest news and events, so make sure to sign up and you can be part of our forum. So make sure to check out the new KGRA digital broadcasting website, thekgradb.com. We look forward to seeing you there, and we hope that you enjoy the new website.
Mainstream media's most wanted. KGRAradio.com.
You are listening to Soul Wanderings here on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Hudson Valley, New York. We have the phone lines open for readings tonight with our guest, Misty Rose Merck. You can call in to 85-KGRA Live, so that's 855-472-5483. If you desire a reading, we have a few spots open to receive those readings. We do have a couple of callers online. We're going to just get right into it. Are you ready for that, Misty?
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
I'd like to welcome to the show Emily from Utah. Thank you for calling in.
Hi.
Hi, Emily. Would you like a reading from Misty where she just reads your energy, or do you have a specific question?
No, just a general reading is good.
Perfect.
Hi, Emily. Can you do me a favor and see if you can speak just a little bit louder for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does sound a little far away.
Is that better? I had my earbuds in.
Yes. Yeah, that is better. Thank you. So, you're really cute. You have a very bubbly, effervescent kind of personality. Very joyful, very optimistic. So your nature is to be very happy-go-lucky, but things have felt a little heavy energetically for you emotionally lately. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And just as a reminder for you or anyone else that I might speak to today, if I share something that doesn't seem to fit, don't make it. Just receive it feels right and true, okay?
Okay.
So, you just feel like a Care Bear on steroids. You're just so very friendly, very loving, very kind-hearted. And you're definitely a giver, almost to your own detriment, because there's times where you're giving more than your energy is allowing for. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, totally.
And it kind of feels like your nature's so happy and bubbly. it feels like this is one of those moments where you're feeling particularly drained because you've taken on more than was meant for you. Does this make sense?
Yes.
And so I'm going to say you're somebody that it feels like sometimes it's hard for you to say no. Would that be accurate?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so it's kind of when you're really cute. You're so giving, but you don't receive very easily. And it isn't necessarily that you don't want to receive, but you resist or hold yourself back from asking. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a situation of you're doing things for others and then waiting for them to reciprocate without asking. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
And so then what's happening is you're overexerted and it feels like you're on the edge of burnout. And when you're that kind of giver, meaning you give and give and give and give, and you ask for little to nothing in return, energy loves balance. It's like water. Water wants to find balance in its environment, and energy is the same way. So what happens when you're a person that gives this way, then you draw to you people who love to receive and don't necessarily love to give. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so it's not, I'm going to say the majority of the people around you, it's not that they're not givers. It's just you've trained them to receive a lot and not worry about asking to give something in return. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Then it feels like there's a personality around you that they stand more in a taking energy. They are slow to give and slow to reciprocate. And at times when they give in return, it's more out of obligation than desire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
So is that okay? So it's, in essence, I'm just kind of drawing a picture so that you can see the layout of things that are going on for you, because it feels like you've been feeling very frustrated at these kinds of circumstances and you're wanting change. You want to feel like a priority to other people the way you make other people a priority. Would that be accurate?
Sure. I guess I never really thought of that.
Okay. Well, in essence, it feels like there's things that you want to accomplish for yourself, but it's hard when you're drained doing things for other people. Does that make sense?
Yes. Totally, yes. Yes.
And so then what's happening is you're being put in a position of choosing you or them. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then, so what you're doing is you keep choosing them, and then you're getting frustrated because the things that you want aren't happening. And yes, this is where, in essence, Emily, it's developing your boundaries. So you are an empath. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yeah. You told me that last time.
And as an empath, you're one part of what's draining you is you're sponging other people's emotions. Mm-hmm. And it comes from the place of when we don't understand all of our gifts and the functionalities of our gifts, in the dysfunction and the not knowing, we're still trying to use them and serve the what they're capable of creating and helping other people. So you want to help people feel better. And so one of the things you're doing unconsciously is sponging emotions. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And so on top of that, you don't have healthy boundaries. So then what then puts you in the situation of is doing things, people pleasing and things of that nature, so that it becomes a thing of these limited resources, as in who you are as a person, becomes it's either me or them. And if it's me or them, it's going to be them. That's kind of the mentality you've taken is I'm going to help and take care of other people instead of myself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
So then you have all these goals, or you have dreams and things that aren't happening, or you feel not taken care of. And that, in a kind of in a nutshell, all stems from lack of healthy boundaries for yourself. What healthy boundaries are doing isn't making other people bad guys. Healthy boundaries is a self-care tool. And when you're well taken care of, when you're healthy and well and have your full level of energy, that's your 100%. And then when you get yourself kind of backed up into this corner of taking care of others and being overextended and not taking care of yourself, that drains your 100% down to, say, like 50%. And you may be giving your everything you've got, but it's 50% of what you would normally be capable of. Mm-hmm. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so making you a priority isn't being selfish, because it feels like that's where this behavior stems from, is the fear of being selfish. Yeah. And you come from a family that is about being humble and selfless, and self-care is not selfish. It's the best way to be there for other people. It's kind of like that analogy of when you're on an airplane, they tell you to put the air mask on you before helping other people. Because if you don't take care of you, then you're not going to be there to take care of other people. And then you become somebody that has to be taken care of. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes. Yeah, that does.
So it's just sitting down and saying, what do I want for myself? And then being willing to give it to you and finding those places. This is what I'm willing to do. This is what I can do. And this is what I won't do, what I don't want for myself. And as you make choices, putting you at the top of your list so that you can show up for other people at your 100% is the best gift that you can give to help anybody. And then from that place, you're going to better understand how to be of help instead of just giving and giving and giving to the point that you're drained and the other people think it's nice, but it isn't creating any change for them either. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that does.
Was
just
this
getting
helpful?
There is the problem. Yes, that was helpful.
Say that one more time.
I said getting there will be hard. But
so this is where affirmations and positive statements can come in handy. And it becomes a thing of, I love you enough to take care of me so I can be there for you.
Okay.
The affirmations are very powerful, and they may seem silly in the moment when you're saying them or writing them down, but words have power. They have meaning.
Yes.
And it's so important to be very clear on the words you are using.
Yes.
For those affirmations.
Yes. So this is just when you start to get into that second guessing, feeling doubt, it's training yourself to move from the old mindset to a new one, which is when I'm well taken care of, I can show up for you in better ways.
Okay.
It's just reframing how you've been engaging and looking at things. If we can get you to understand that a well taken care of you means better opportunities for others, then you're more inclined to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Okay, awesome, Emily. Thank you for calling into the show. We appreciate your support, and you have a beautiful night.
Thank you. You too. See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, Misty, take a deep breath. We're going in for another.
Ding, round 2.
Round 3.
Round 3.
We'd like to welcome Naomi from San Diego, California to the show. Hello.
Hi, I do have a question.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I have, I'm more concerned about, like, my future career financial situation.
Welcome, Naomi from San Diego. Okay, so what Misty does is she reads your energy, okay? So she'll read the energy in and around you. If that type of energy comes up, she'll share with you what that looks like, what that feels like.
Okay, so it's Naomi?
And Naomi, why don't you lower your volume in the background a little bit, because we're having some feedback. Will you do that, please?
Well, I put it on mute. I have the background on mute.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Misty.
Hi, Naomi.
Hi, Misty.
So you're wanting to know about your future finances and career, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, right now, so it feels like there's some fear when you think about this subject. It feels like there's some fear coming up. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So first and foremost is it's getting clear on what you want can help with dissipating fear, and you want to engage with this with removing fear as much as possible. Because if you engage with it from a fear-based place, you're going to create fear-based solutions. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So clarity, not knowing, is one of the biggest breeding grounds for doubt and fear. Mm-hmm. And what I would have you do first is to sit down and think about what it is you want for yourself. When we get to thinking about finances and careers, we start thinking about things we have to do and need to do. And that's when we start getting into the settling energy, where we settle for what we think we're supposed to do. And we lose sight of what our soul is calling us to do, or what we're yearning to do. Does this make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, there are phrases that I use to help me with my mindset while I start focusing on what it is that I want to create. And one of those things, and this is, I call to my higher power, which for me is God, and God in me knows what to do. Because I, in my own head, don't know the end from the beginning. And I don't know how everything's going to unfold, but I can know what I want. Knowing what you want is the first step. And this isn't about what you should do or what you have to do. Sometimes we do have to start there. We get the job that pays the bills while we start to discover the job that lights and feeds our soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I had that before, but because of an accident, I'm no longer working, a rear-end collision. So it's like, I don't know what I can do that I can work.
So it's, again, it's this is where you're going to sit down and start to ask these questions of yourself. Life has changed for you. You're not where you used to be. It's engaging where you are now. And from there, what is this experience bringing me an opportunity of? And I know that sounds a funny question to ask when you start talking about some things that we would consider as a negative experience. I've been in 9 car accidents, so I can tell you it's an interesting thing to sit and say, what positive thing can this be bringing me? But it's more about in framing your context this way and asking questions from this concept. It's about shifting your energy so that you're most able to be aligned with any beautiful thing you'd want to create for yourself. And I know at the moment your physical situation has changed. That doesn't dictate how beautiful your outcome can be. It may put some parameters on things, but it isn't a nail in the coffin kind of thing. It doesn't make put a finality on stuff. And that's where sitting down and listening to what your soul is guiding you towards, that would be maybe using a guided meditation, a journaling exercise, to sit and get some clarity about what your soul is saying to you and how it's seeking to guide you forward through this process to the next phase of your life. Because right now, the thing that pinged me first is there's a lot of fear. And until you address that fear and shift yourself out of that fear-based energy, you're going to create your outcome from that energy. So anything you can do to shift your energy and raise your vibration so that and it doesn't have to be a lot. It can little increments, baby steps, stair step your way, as one of my mentors says, stair step your way so that you get to your goal, but in little steps that feel doable. And again, it's most important is to address the fear, because until that shifts, you're going to get a lot more of what you've recently had, which is a lot of very soul draining, frustrating experiences, in addition to the physical pain. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because your mind has been on a worry train. It's been, and that worry's been nitpicking, trying to know how to avoid the perceived pitfalls and see the end from the beginning. That's just one way the brain works, trying to keep you safe. But right now, all that's doing is it's creating mental pain and emotional pain that's exasperating your physical pain. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
And so anything you can do to get yourself into a peaceful state, and that seems difficult in your current situation, but the reality is right this moment, you're breathing, your heart is beating, you have some of your basic necessities taken care of, so you can focus on just, it's not about jumping from where you are to complete Zen. It's simply taking the next step to bring yourself closer to a peaceful state. Noticing the worry thoughts. And what can I do right now to redirect my thoughts so that I can connect with peace? What can I do right now to address these fearful feelings so that I can feel peace? The more you're able to create those peaceful moments, it can be watching America's Funniest Home Videos and having a good laugh. I would say watch something that you can cry with, because you've got a lot of grief over the different losses that you've had and the perceived losses of what you feel like all of these changes have meant for you. So watching or reading a book, something that you know you'll cry with, to help release some of the grief and the heaviness in your energy. follow it up with something that you know you'll laugh with. Because right now there's just a backlog of emotions stagnating and weighing down on you. And so the more we can clear that out and elevate your energy, the better you'll start to feel. So sit down and what is in the realm of your I can do this, and when I do this I feel better, I feel peace, I feel calm, I feel joy, I feel happy. Anything that feels positive that you want to be feeling, write those things down. And then when you find yourself struggling, you go to the list and you pick something and you do it. Have items that you can do. It's just a moment to be able to do it, and it maybe only takes a moment long. And then have other items that if I do a little preparation, I can do it for, an hour, or this is something I can do over a day. Have different kinds of experiences. That way you can, it's all about shifting your energy, because whatever energy level you're at, that's what you're going to attract to yourself. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so it's first and foremost is do whatever you can to address your inner world, and your outer world will begin to reflect it. Einstein, he's a famous scientist. He was in physics, I believe, and he said everything is energy, no matter how big or dense in appearance. It's all energy at its smallest level. And he said, as everything is energy, whatever energy we emanate, we can't help but attract like energy. He said, this isn't wishful thinking, this is science. So you can shift your situation. And it seems maybe silly or unrealistic to think that our thoughts and emotions are big contributing factors into how our lives are unfolding, but they really are. And it goes to that child phrase from, there's different places, but Polar Express is the one I remember it from the most, is believing is seeing. It isn't seeing is believing. Believing is seeing, meaning we create and manifest things in life through our beliefs. And right now you have some beliefs that are disempowering, that are making you feel scared. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that helpful?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for calling into the show, Naomi. Have a wonderful evening.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And there you go again, doing the thing you do.
You and I just need to sit down and have a little singing conversation.
Oh, girl, I cannot sing. I just like to be silly because I'm a silly kind of girl.
Well, it's just the one-liners.
Yeah.
Where we just one line of the song to each other as conversation.
I'm good at that game.
I know.
I'm so good at it.
Yes.
And there's a song for everything.
Definitely.
I get the eye roll quite often because someone will make a comment, statement, have a conversation, and I'm in the background singing the song that coordinates with the conversation.
We're so much alike. It's not funny, but
doing
it is.
Doing the things. Okay, we have another caller on the line. I'd like to welcome Dave from Hudson Valley to the show. Hello, Dave.
Hi, AJ. Good evening.
Thank you for your patience until we got to you. Would you like Misty to give you a reading on your energy as it is right now, or do you have a question for Misty tonight?
Kind of want to do both, but let me just have her do a reading on her own.
Hi, Dave.
Yes.
Can you just do me a favor and close your eyes and take a deep breath?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You just it's engaging with some people at times. Their minds are so busy. There's no way I can speak that fast. And sometimes it makes it just a little difficult to kind of see the content that's coming forth in a way that I can understand it. And you're definitely a visual, like you definitely, you can definitely see things when, I don't know if you're a visual learner, but I definitely feel like when people are talking, you can see the conversation, like see things happening. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I think I pick up on things in the visual realm.
So, there are times when you're having conversations with people and you're picking up on information that isn't coming through the conversation. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, aren't they surprised?
Yes. So that just goes to part of the empathic gifts that you have. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I feel is like that visual is claircognizance, meaning you have clear knowing and you get things, and that's where we kind of see those images in our mind's eye. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Things are conveyed through images.
Yes. The other thing that I feel you have is clairaudience, and that's where you get. So for me, it's rare that I hear communication the way we hear each other's voices. More so, it's a sensation that passes through the ear that brings that information, and I feel like you have that too. Does that make sense?
I feel I have more clairsentience. I'm not really sure if I pick up on the audio of the end of information. I pick up more. There may be audio information coming through, but I pick up on a sensing.
Well, it's kind of like getting. We're going to say I feel like you get messages. Does that make sense?
Bingo.
Okay.
That is it.
And I feel like so you've got like, I don't know, we call them, you're multi-gifted. And I feel like the mind is where you're really comfortable. But I also feel like there's okay. So what that is there are times when your gifts are showing up in physical, emotional ways that you're blocking or not fully open to. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not really able to open up to all the information coming in.
So there are people, and I don't know if this is something that you're aware of, but this is something I feel that you're capable of doing, and I think you're doing without realizing, is you're taking in information through feeling. And I'm not just feeling emotions, because you have that, but also through feeling through your physical body.
Yes, that's the key.
Kind of thinking the way we absorb water through our skin. You're absorbing energy through your physical body. And one of the ways that information is being understood is in your mind's eye. But I also feel like you're getting it in your physical body. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so one of the things I feel that's happening is when you're not cognizant or conscious of the content, it's kind of energetically getting stuck and showing up as mystery pain. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So it's, in essence, I feel like you have some gifts that you're aware of, and comfortable with to a degree. And then I feel like you've got some gifts that you might be kind of aware of, but you're not fully engaged with the same way as the ones you are comfortable and more aware of. And they're having a physical impact because I feel your body physically processing a lot of this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, it does.
And so it's a thing of spending some time engaging with your gifts and discovering the nuances, because even the things that you're familiar with and comfortable with, you're not engaged with them at their full level, and you're still, it's kind of like, I guess the only way I could try to think to describe it is turning on the power and constricting how much power, thinking that you're constricting how much power flow is coming through, when in reality more is flowing through than you're aware of, and then it's causing issues with your stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, someone's just making that analogy between aluminum wire and copper wire and what needs to be changed recently as far as being able to carry certain.
I would say there's a level of discomfort that's causing you to block some of your gifts and prevent yourself from engaging with them.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say some facilitation to address the reasons that are causing you to hold back, because I feel like you're way more gifted and powerful than you're fully conscious of or allow for.
True. There's some things I would like to develop, but I don't feel I can do it alone safely. You know, things like trance channeling. That's a possibility for me, but it's not something I can do by myself. And right now, I don't really have an adequate mentorship or a mentor or someone willing to work with me on that who'd be knowledgeable enough to guide me through.
I am a firm believer in when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. Meaning when we're ready for something, life shows up for us and brings us whatever it is, the next step, the next person, the connection that creates the relationship or whatever. So I would say there are some unresolved energy. There's just some things going on inside of you that are triggered by the thought of moving forward. And there's just some fear, and addressing those things, either sitting and doing a meditation, some journaling to get to the root, or going and getting facilitated through some energy work to get to the root of what it is that's holding you back internally, because you feel like a go-getter. You feel like a person who likes to take decisive action. And this is something that I feel you've kind of hemmed and hawed about or sat on the fence for some time. Does this make sense?
Yes, indeed.
And so this just reiterates there is a fear, an unrecognized fear, that when resolved, that your nature of decisive action is going to then take hold, and things will begin to move forward. But until that fear is addressed, you're going to stay in this holding pattern. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Very much so.
And I feel like there's like quick opportunities coming your way to to bring those connections so that you can take action on developing your gifts. So I would invite you, the sooner you can address the hidden issue, the hidden fear, the better, because there are some really, it feels like very beautiful opportunities ready to unfold for you. Right. Because you're somebody, it's funny because you get in your head and you like to be a thinker, but you're really a teddy bear inside. You're very squishy, and you just like being of service. You like knowing you've done something. Does this make sense?
I find that to be one of the most valuable engagements a person can have on the planet.
And because you are in that energy, you have the ability to be a great force for good, having great impact for good in the lives of other people. Your gifts placing you in very pivotal places in someone's life to help manifest change and forward progression and healing and things of that nature. And it getting you to a place where you feel safe enough to engage with your gifts in their fullest expression is what's going to help make those things happen. Okay?
That makes sense.
Was that helpful?
Yes, it was very much, because I've been kind of asking myself whether or not I'm on the right path or, driving off a cliff. So
I feel like you're in a holding pattern. And once you understand, why you took that rest stop, that's going to help you understand how to get back on the road and which direction you want to go.
Exactly. That is it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and your attention to this matter.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling into the show, Dave. You have an awesome night, okay?
Thank you. Peace.
Be well, dear. Now, that was an awesome reading. That's one that I could relate to. Like, I was feeling that reading. I was shaking my head. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Uh-huh. Because I'd been there before.
Yeah.
And, you go back and visit that space every now and then.
Oh, of course we do. Every time we get ready for another level, we definitely, you just get to a level and then it's work, and then you develop the comfort of, okay, I got it, I get it, and it feels all good, and we develop a stride, and then it's like, wait, you want me to go to another level? But I just got comfortable here.
Yeah, it is. It's just like that, and I love it. I appreciate it very much. Yeah. When I'm in the middle of it, maybe not so much. But at the end, I'm like, yeah, I did that. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, roller coaster ride, you're screaming all the way. And enjoy or terror, who knows? But, yeah, and then you get to the end and go, wow, I survived that. Look what I did.
Look what I did.
As you can see, I'm not particularly fond of roller coasters.
Yeah.
I can like them sometimes. I have found that I can love them if I'm on the ride with the right person. I went with a friend once, and she wanted to get on the ride. She loves roller coasters. Her response, you wouldn't think so. I tell you, I was laughing so hard because there was so much, oh Lord and Jesus, save me.
That is hilarious.
It was. And no roller coaster ride has ever been as fun as that time.
Sounds like it. Yes. I would be enjoying that ride.
Yeah.
We do have time for one more reading, so we're going to keep the phone lines open. If that caller is you'll want to call into 85KGRA Live. That's 855-472-5483. We'll be hanging out here for another 20 minutes or so. So this is your invitation. Call in. Until then, Misty, I have a question for you. Well, questions. A topic of discussion, if you will, until we are awesomely interrupted with a caller.
Okay.
To you, What is the difference between angels, spirit guides, and soul family?
I like the way you said that to me, because context is
Right.
so unique and personal.
Yes, very much
And
so.
we treat it as though it's a one shoe fits all kind of thing, and it just isn't, because we express ourselves so uniquely in so many different ways. For me, when I say angels, and there's times when I refer to them or they, that for me is the collective.
Yes.
which is
my possibility.
So I've experienced what I call beings of light. And for me, they are made of light. That's how I see them. And for me, that's angels. And when I say angels, that's people who have been alive and are no longer here. And people who haven't been here yet. And even in a context of some beings that may never be here in a physical expression. And then as I've had different experiences, and I know people talk about archangels and different levels of angels. And I'll say that I have experienced some of those angels that people would refer to as an archangel, like the angel known as Michael. I've experienced that energy. I've experienced what people call Christ. I've experienced what some may call God is a woman, God is a man. And then I've experienced, for me, when we say guides, it's like looking at all humans and seeing all of the many different jobs. For me, there's all of these beings of light, and we here give them these different titles, which I don't think they care about. I don't ever have the feeling that it matters to them one way or the other. They simply want to have a relationship and engage with us. And there are some relationships, as in there are family, meaning we've been born in the same generational line. But I also believe we're all of one spirit family, as it were, and we all come from. I look at spirituality as spokes on a wheel. Everybody has a different journey and path with experiencing it, but we all came from the same place, heading to the same place, so to speak. And when I see, so for me, maybe as a spirit guide, my grandmother, she passed when I was 1. And she's somebody that's been with me. She's constantly with me. And I don't believe in limitations as far as their ability to visit others and simultaneously. I believe in omnipresence, where, they're not limited by the same physical limitations that we experience of physically only being able to be in one place at a time. So, and then there's times when I've experienced angels that I don't quite know what they're called or how to name them. I just experience different energies from them. You think, I've had different messages communicated. When I've done readings, I've seen them show up in different ways for different people. And sometimes it is where it's a loved one and that person is desiring them to know something and communicate things. But for me, that doesn't happen as much. I know there's people where that's their specific thing, and that's generally always how it works for them. For me, it's more so they're helping me make sense of the energy and engage and communicate that information in the best way that person's able to receive it. And that's why I tell people I'm interpreting what I get, and if I share something that doesn't fit, don't make it, because how many words in the English language can say something's beautiful?
Right.
Innumerable. So your word that you would use and my word aren't necessarily the same. And if they're so far apart, it may not be able to connect. And so these angels know you, and they know what to use and how you're going to connect with things. So I believe they're working with me to help me engage with you and speak your language so that you can make that connection.
Beautiful interpretation on how you see that. Thank you for sharing. We're going to get to our last caller for the evening. Hello, Courtney from Utah. Thank you for calling into the show.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for calling in. Do you have a specific question for Misty, or would you like her to give you a reading based on your energy?
Just a reading based on my energy would be great.
Okay, awesome.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
I'm good, Misty. How are you?
Good, thank you. Feels like where do we start? There feels like there's a lot on your plate, and that your mind is just full of many different things that are happening and trying to make sense of it all. Would this be accurate?
Yes.
So it's so what I keep getting, and it's kind of making it a little difficult to speak, is the experience feels so heavy that it's leaving you speechless, as in it's making it difficult to communicate because there's so much emotion behind it. Does this make sense?
That is the case sometimes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me, because at times when I get in tune this way, it's hard for me to communicate, because that's what is one of the biggest, feels like biggest blocks and struggles that's coming up for you right now. And so then I end up tripping over my words, and it just kind of makes it difficult to get things out. And that's just to reaffirm that this is what you're experiencing, correct?
It is. I don't know that I feel like my plate's really full necessarily, but I am trying to just make sense of the things that have been thrown at me lately.
Okay. To a degree, part of the inability to communicate feels like you want to say something but don't feel like you can. Would that be accurate?
I mean,
what?
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I run my show. There might be things I want to say, but I don't necessarily think it's the wise thing to do by saying them.
Okay. Yes, that's it right there. So, you have got a heart of gold, okay? You have a very sweet heart, and sometimes, yes, you have a sharp tongue. Does that make sense?
Did I have a sharp tongue? Is that what you said?
Yes. Sometimes it feels like part of that self-censorship is because you feel like what you would say would be harsh. Does that make sense?
I don't feel like I am harsh, but I don't say things because maybe I wouldn't want to upset somebody else.
That's what I mean is
it out there rude.
Well, so this is what I feel to share is you have important things going on and important things to say. And you also have an ability to see what isn't working that for other people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And with that awareness, you can say things that can help people. No one wants to hear hard things. But hearing hard things can help us change and heal. And when people just say hard things and we are not able to feel how much they care, then we just feel hurt. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When we show how much we care, we let people know how much we care, and we say hard things, there's an ouch. But because they know there's all of this love and caring for them, it makes it bearable. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that makes sense. I'll have to sit on that and see if I can learn from that.
And that's what I would have you, because you have the ability, like what I feel is you have a gift of discernment, meaning you know truth. It's like you can go, for example, into a class and you don't have to have it explained to know if something's true or not. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And one of the kind of parts of that energy is when it's expressed through faith, love, and trust, it shows up as discernment. When it passes through pain, fear, and doubt, it shows up as judgment. And that's why you're holding your tongue, is you don't want to be judgy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. I think that's something. But
because of your gift and this ability to know the truth and understand truth, you also have a BS detector. You can tell when people are lying, even if you don't know what they're lying about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
And so it's like you have an ability to communicate truthful things, but when you're doing it, trying not to show how much you care, people just feel hurt. When you show that you care, when you come from a place of caring and being vulnerable yourself by showing how much you love, it doesn't mean they'll agree, it doesn't mean they'll like it, but they'll be able to hear it and you'll be able to navigate the relationship in good standing. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And you have that ability. You have the ability to know how to navigate and how to have that conversation, to speak truth while coming from a place of love. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
And that's going to help take some of that worry off of your mind about how to have the conversations. Is make sure you're speaking from your heart and not your head. Meaning, don't speak from your triggers, calm down, get into a love space, and then speak. That's going to change the conversation. And let your heart lead the conversation. You'll know what to say and how to say it, even if there's going to be some pain involved. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Was that helpful?
It is. It gives me some things to think about. I appreciate that, Misty.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for calling into the show, Courtney. You have a wonderful night.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
I always wish we had more time. We get those callers at the very last minute where I can feel you have so much to share with them and you just don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I did notice that Courtney is here in Utah. For her and anyone else who is in the local area to Ogden, Utah, and you'd like to attend a group intuitive reading with Misty Rose Merck, she'll be sharing space with us at Vibes this coming Saturday, February 27th at 1 p.m. It's only $30 in advance, which is phenomenal. Get a $10 discount if you pre-register. It is $40 the day of, so take advantage of that. And for more information on that event and all of her other visits that she has with us, you can go to vibesnow.com, and that's VIBEZ.com. Misty, once again, thanks for being here.
Yay!
I love that you visit and hang out with us once a month. It's perfect because every month we have new callers who really could use your advice and validation and wisdom and all of the good things that you provide to us in the community. So thank you for doing your work and showing up for yourself so that you can be here and share and show up for us.
You're welcome, and thank you. I love this. It's never long enough.
It never is, right? It always goes by so quickly.
It does. You blink and, oh, we're at the end.
Yep. Definitely. For more information here about Soul Wanderings, go to soulwanderings.com. And then make sure you guys are going to kgradb.com for my show and all of the others. There are so many good shows on this station. I really encourage and invite you to check them all out. And until next week, take care, everyone. Good night.